Giselle D, and yeah, I'm gonna tell you my story. There are two things about myself that I've known for a very long time. The first thing is that there is a living Oprah inside me. And what I mean by that, there is an Oprah inside me who just really wants to give people presents. And by presents, I mean anything from a conversation to something solid. So, here's a gift. Here. No, yeah, you can have it.
Oh, thank you. You're so cute.
Well, actually, I'm just kidding.
Bruh.
Because, because we're going through budget cuts, I'm gonna need that bag. Okay. The second thing that I've known about myself for a very long time is that I have a really strong affinity towards things I do not know. And what I mean by this is that I always have this mentality that I want to do things. I want to try things that I've never ever done before, and I want to be a part of great big things. But the only drawback behind that is that oftentimes it's dubbed with fear and anxiety. However, as there is a living Oprah inside me, there is also a living Moses. Now, what I mean is that this Moses, he walks through the Red Sea and he parts it right through the middle. He makes me walk through the middle and he drowns fear and anxiety from behind. With those two things together, I have done great things. And honestly, I don't know how I'd be here where I am now as a junior here in Gabrielino, but the success I've had in the Gabrielino speech team. Now, back in the summer before freshman year, I was put into the beginning speech team because I enrolled. And as a middle school graduate, I was really afraid. I was having thoughts of fear of maybe high school will be really bad. I thought about what if I did something so embarrassing that my whole entire high school career will be like, I would think about all the bad things that happened to me in the summer, and it would taint my high school life. But the great thing about being in the beginning speech team in that summer, when I went in, I was greeted with such welcoming arms. My coach, he told us to write a speech, just anything, you can write anything you want. And I ended up writing a speech about these three archers, Hawkeye, Katniss, and Merida. And these three people were to be in this type of Olympic-style arena trying to save Katniss. I mean, Peeta. Peeta or Gale, I'm not sure, one or the other. And when I performed that, that was the very first speech I've ever written. When I performed it and I went in front of the entire class, there was something that sparked inside me. I had made people laugh that I didn't really know I would ever be able to do. I didn't know I was funny in that way, but I made people laugh, and that made me feel really warm and excited inside. When I went home that night, I had thought to myself that this was such a great experience, just that one performance that I had in front of everyone. It was such a great experience, and I thought to myself that maybe this is something I wanted to do for the rest of my high school life. So freshman year started, and I was walking through the gates of Gabrielino with worries and doubts and fears still, but when I walked in, I was really excited about one thing, and that was going to the speech room. Third period speech and debate. Throughout my freshman year, I had met a lot of people. I met people in the upper class that I thought it was kind of illegal to talk to, like socially, because I was just a puny freshman, but I realized quickly that it doesn't really matter. Being an OPP, which is Original Prose and Poetry, it's an event that I was put in, and you basically write your own speech. You could say anything you want to say, from something funny to something sad. It could be even a poem. When I was put into that event, I felt like this was like my calling. I felt like I was going to do something great with this, and I was really excited. Now, I was in OPP and HI, and HI is another event, and it's basically you take a book, you condense it, and you just make it really funny. So I was in those two events. I was in HI and OPP. The most important event to me that year was OPP, because as it was the first event that I was put into, it was kind of like I was a goose and the event was the Mother Goose. I had imprinted on this thing and I had fallen in love. I was so in love with it that I had never imagined myself ever leaving. And why? Well, it was the first thing that I ever encountered before high school started that kind of made me feel like I would be okay. I would do great things, and it was just so warm and welcoming. And the people were just the greatest. My event leaders that year, they were two seniors who were going to graduate, and they were two people that I looked up to so much. They were people that I kind of wanted to become throughout the course of my high school career. And having the thoughts that they were leaving, I was kind of afraid. I was like, oh, they're like my best friends in a way. And having them leave, I was kind of like, it's gonna be kind of sad here. And I was like, do I really want to spend like so many hours with this fool? I was like, maybe not. So I thought about it more, and I talked to the event leaders that were leaving in OPP. I talked to my friends, and I really did think about what could come out of this decision. What could come out of me joining this guy and doing duo with him and leaving my family? And I was really scared. I felt like I had thoughts that maybe if I joined, maybe I wouldn't be able to perform well enough. Maybe I wouldn't do as well as my coaches wanted me to or expected me to. Maybe I wouldn't do well enough for him. I didn't want to be in that position where I disappointed a lot of people. And I didn't want to disappoint the people who were back in OPP who thought that I would do really great, like throughout the course of the years. I was like, I wanted to go to state just like the event leader that left that year. I really wanted to be like her so much, but when he told me that we were going to be duo partners and he said that, I was like, wow. The dreams that I had were going to be, I had to leave them behind, and I had to rebuild new dreams and start over again, and I didn't really like that. I never really liked starting over anew because moving from LA to St. Gabriel in 5th grade, it was kind of a traumatic experience because I had to leave everything that I knew, the friends that I knew, the streets that I memorized from driving every day back and forth. I don't like leaving things that I'm comfortable with, but at the same time, there was like a compelling feeling in me just wants to go and do it. The Oprah in me just says, go, do it! But I was really afraid. So I consulted the Moses who was sitting inside me also, and he said, I'm gonna just part the Red Sea for you and just walk through. Just walk through, straight through, and you're gonna do great. You're gonna reach the other end of the sea and watch, you'll find something amazing. So eventually I said, yeah, okay, fine. Why not? Let's do it. I'll be your duo partner. I'll leave everything that I had known everything about, and I'll just do it because why not? Really though, why not? I was really afraid, but he helped me so much transition throughout the course of the year. He helped me learn everything about duo. He helped me feel comfortable in my own skin, and he pushed me to places I would have never expected myself going to, I mean. And my coaches did the same thing. And the one thing that I was really afraid of was leaving my family. Well, I learned that I had another one. Being in duo, I found a new family. I found another group of people that accepted me the same exact way that those people in OPP did. And I fell in love with duo the moment I performed my very first duo with him. I had fallen in love with the ideas of making people laugh. And luckily for both of us, after working very, very hard, we were really successful last year. We ended up qualifying for state, and we ended up being semifinalists out of like 300 people. Then later on that year, we also qualified for nationals. And there, I was really terrified. Like preparing for it, we had like a week to just throw away everything that we had and start anew. And I was like, oh God, I can't do this. This is way too much because it was like nationals. Just hearing that word, it was just nationals. I was really scared. But again, he was there with me, and he was with me by my side, helping me every single way. every single day that we performed and practiced, and we ended up being semi-finalists out of nearly 1,000 other people doing duo that year. So looking back, I mean, state and nationals, only as a sophomore? The greatest thing that came out of that, though, was the bonds that I newly created with the people in duo, the new people that I met, the bonds that I had with him, my duo partner. And really, what I really like about what happened to me in the past 3 years, or 2 years, I'm not gonna count this year, the past 2 years, what happened to me the past 2 years, it was something I never really saw myself ever doing. If I was never proposed with this opportunity, I don't think I would have taken it. I don't think I would have ever asked my coaches if I could leave OPP because I was very comfortable in it. But I left. I left, and it was a really good decision. And the one thing that really kept me grounded the whole entire time was the ideas that, well, I was fearful that I wasn't going to do well, but then I said, why would I think about that? Why would I let those fears kind of drive me into not fulfilling the best that the most, the highest capability that I could go. I don't know if that's grammatically correct, but yeah. So basically, the decision to leave OPP was really hard for me. I was very terrified, I was very afraid. I didn't want to leave the family that I had, something that I was so comfortable in. But it was okay, because in the end, I found a new family. I met new people, I had created new bonds, and, I'm often afraid of doing things like this, just speaking in front of people sometimes. But in the end, you really just gotta just do it. Just disregard all the odds that could be against you and just go for it. Just go and do it, because all of you guys have a Moses in you who will part the Red Sea and drown the fear and anxiety behind you. All of you guys have an Oprah who just wants to give people gifts and be a part of something great and do something amazing. Basically, I'm really proud of what's happened in the past 2 years of my life. Because we qualified for because we ended up being semi-finalists at nationals, we get to go again this year in June, back to nationals with him again. And I think that's one of the second biggest gifts that I could give him. He gets to perform again, even after he graduated. I got you. But anyways, yeah, I guess basically all I just want to tell you guys is really disregard all the odds that could be against you. Even though it could be something that you're afraid of, just do it. Just go